Hi everyone, and welcome to Leaf Rants. The Leafs lose. They lose 2-1 against the Minnesota Wild in overtime. So let's break it down. Going into the game, Nick Robertson's in, and Pontus Holmberg is out. And then there's some confusion. No, Bobby McMahon's listed as out. Holmberg's still in, and then nope, Holmberg is out. McMahon is in, and so is Robertson. So Robertson's in, Holmberg's out, but there's a lot of confusion before the game. Also, tonight was Orange Hat Night in Minnesota. Did I need to say that? No, but I could see a lot of orange hats. Were they given away for free? I don't know. Maybe you had to bring your own orange hat. Were they selling orange hats? Hopefully. I don't know. So, the first period. Hartman scores on a rebound after the Leafs were pinned into their own zone for a while. Goal was reviewed. It looked like he kicked it. Did Hartman get credited with the goal? Yeah, he did. So Hartman got credited with the goal. It went off of Tavares' stick as well, so they counted it. It was a good goal. And it's 1-0 Minnesota. But the Wild take a penalty here. And the Wilds are, let me just check my notes, 66.7% on the penalty kill this year? The Leafs have to score on the power play here, right? Nope, they don't. The power play looks a lot better, but they didn't score on the power play there. It was, then Marner draws a penalty a couple minutes after, 5 minutes later. So here we go. This is it. Need one here, a big one. You're down 1-0, end of the period. You need one. Marner playing the point with a 5-forward power play, which honestly, I kind of liked having Tavares and Nyes right in front of the net. Marner on the point, Nylander on the left, and Matthews on the right. Don't mind that. I prefer different units, but that was okay. Marner on the point to Matthews on the right. He holds, finds a pass to Willie. Willie one times it. They score. They score, and I forgot what to do. That doesn't usually happen, but they score a power play goal. Their first power play goal this season on the road, and it's 1-1 in the Leafs. They slay that demon, or so they hope. Since daylight saving times, the Leafs power play's been 33%. Yep. 33 whole percent. That's like 4 times what their actual power play is, so that's pretty good. Also, Marner was showing some grit at the end of that period, at the end of the first period. And Nick Robertson had a really good first period. I thought he had a pretty good game, but I thought he had a really good first period. He was getting in there, physical battles, and I like seeing him out there. All right. For the first, it's 1-1. Going into the second, big period here, and no one scores. Hartman tries the Michigan, but he misses. Also, Stolarz seemed to play a lot without his stick in this game. I don't know why. I noticed it in the second period, and I was like, it's kind of weird. I don't know why, but he does seem to not have a stick a lot of the time. Who knows? Also, Oliver Ekman-Larsson took a penalty at the end of the game at the end of the second period for cross-checking. It wasn't the end. It was like, he got a roughing penalty and a cross-checking penalty. So that's where the 4 minutes comes from. I don't really get how that's 4 minutes, but whatever. And in the third period, not a whole bunch happened. Minnesota culminated the third, and the Leafs were hemmed in their zone for a while until the final 5 minutes of the game where they decided to step up. And then, of course, they don't score. No one scores. And we go to overtime. My thoughts, though. Stolarz was fantastic. He's the 1A. Moving on, I think. Wall is still a 1B, and he can still fight for that 1A, and I love that we have competition in net, and great. There were lots of hits in this game. It was contagious. It was great. Special teams were good tonight, which is something that we haven't been able to say about the Toronto Maple Leafs in a very while, whether it's their penalty kill or their power play. Power play this year, penalty kill last year. Both were really good tonight. Tired third period. The Leafs looked exhausted. They didn't look good at all. But overall, a decent road game going into overtime. They're still figuring stuff out. But I don't like losing, but it was a good back-to-back against, honestly, a really good team on the road. They got a point, and they were in it all game, so I can't really hate on the Toronto Maple Leafs too much. One player I will hate on is Max Domi. And I haven't said a lot about Max Domi. Honestly, he's been kind of invisible. And I know he's the third-line center right now. He hasn't been doing a lot. And in overtime, he has a play here where he could have a breakaway, and he flicks it up in hopes that he can outbeat Spurgeon, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, in hopes he can outbeat Spurgeon. And he flicks it up, And it's a foot race, and Spurgeon clearly has a step on him and beats him cleanly. The problem with that is he could have held it and he could have brought it up and they could have had a 2-on-1. But instead he was going for just a breakaway. And he's a pass-first player, so he's probably going for that pass. And it's probably going to be a one-timer with someone that's good. But he doesn't. And Spurgeon quickly turns it around the other way. Oliver Ekman-Larsson was going off for a line change. And Domi is responsible for that play. That flicking it was a smart play if you do have a edge on someone, but he didn't. And it clearly didn't work out. And it leads to a goal in the back of the net, and it led to a 2-on-0 the other way. And you wasted that performance from Stolarz. Do you know how good he was in this game? He made 31 saves. He made 31 saves. I was in net for the Wild. Who was in net? For Gustafsson. I thought so. I was just making sure. He had a 964 tonight. He had a better save percentage than Anthony Stolarz, believe it or not. Anthony Stolarz had a 939. That was the goalie battle tonight. It was pretty insane. But I thought that was a bad play by Max Domi in overtime, and something that I don't know. It's wild that a team with this much talent can't win more in overtime. It's crazy to me. I also don't really understand why Berube put out Max Domi, Max Pacioretty, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I guess from more of a offensive focus thing. But if you're gonna put Max Pacioretty, you might as well just put John Tavares out there. If I'm being honest, so I don't know. Stat from Sportsnet: Maple Leafs through 13 games last year, 6-5-2. This year, 6-5-2. I don't know if that's supposed to be reassuring because what happened last year? They didn't win a single round. They lost in Game 7 versus the Boston Bruins. We all remember it. We all know it. It happened. I don't know if this is supposed to make us feel good. Also, Morgan Riley quote: "It was a good game. I thought we battled. It's unfortunate we didn't get the second point, but we're moving in the right direction." Yep, there's growing pains here. Growing pains with this team, growing pains with this lineup, growing pains with anything. I think defensively they're good enough, and I think in goaltending they're way more than good enough. I don't know how they are. I don't know how confident I am with this team offensively going into the playoffs. They obviously need to make an addition for a second or third line center. But overall, I think this team is doing pretty good, and I think they're getting used to this play, and it's going to take time. It's going to take time. They definitely need like two center to play with Nylander on that second line, so you can move Tavares down, and you can do like a Pacioretty, Tavares, Robertson. Ooh, Yarncroke. Just saying. But yeah, another guy I wanted to talk about was Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews, I thought his line's been really good, and I was surprised that he hasn't scored a 5-on-5 goal in 8 games now. This was the 8th straight game he hasn't scored a 5-on-5 goal. Can you believe that? This team doesn't win if Austin Matthews doesn't do his thing. His thing is scoring goals. He needs to do his thing. He really does. He is the team. He's the face. He's the heart of this team. If he doesn't score, chances are Leafs aren't really winning, especially when he's not scoring 5-on-5 or on the power play. We need more from him. I thought he's been playing well. Like that first line I've really liked. The second line I've liked as well, but they were getting hemmed into their defensive zone. I guess it's a back-to-back. You have older players like Tavares and Pacioretty. Whatever. Who do we play next? We play, of course, why would they make it easier for me to check who the Leafs play next? Play Tuesday against the Boston Bruins. So that's a game that I'm excited for. We'll see how they come in that one. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please click like. If you really liked it, click the subscribe button. It makes me feel pretty good. So I hope to see you in the next one.